everybody, how y'all doing? Ladies, it is your girl, your diva in knowledge, Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Hope everybody's doing good. Again, I want to thank y'all for being so patient with my last upload, because I knew I took forever to get it done, but nevertheless it was completed. I will be working on a part two, the psyche of the married man, the mental psyche of the married man, part two. Felt like there was some very critical points that I left out that should have been addressed. So keep in mind that whenever I upload, I always view my own materials. So sometimes I'll reevaluate and say, you know what, I forgot to mention this. I realized it was a lot of significant points that I left out. So be prepared for the part two. But I wanted to go into this one right away. I wanted to talk about your girl, Wendy Williams, honey. Any of us who have been fans of Wendy Williams, and again, I know a lot of people want to drag Wendy through the mud, for always, being so transparent about these celebrity marriages, especially the failures, the divorces, all of the issues that a lot of these celebrities try to keep discreet. A lot of celebrities had a lot of animosity towards Wendy Williams, and she was just doing her job, and her job was to get the tea, to spill all the dirt. And of course, if people was not interested, they wouldn't be buying these gossip magazines, which they don't have those out as much thanks to social media and YouTube, of course. And people wouldn't be listening to bloggers. So evidently, Wendy Williams was despised for something that most people enjoyed, which was getting the tea, the latest on a lot of these celebrities. So she has outed a lot of marital issues, like with Kobe Bryant and Vanessa Bryant, Beyonce, Jay-Z, a lot of celebrities. She has outed their business, and their personal affairs. And truth be told, Wendy Williams was head on about a lot of the stuff. She was, she was dead on about a lot of the things that she said about a lot of these celebrities. A lot of the things that she said was going to happen ended up happening and whatnot. So for the most part, Wendy Williams has always been a woman of a lot of knowledge. However, with all of that, she was so consumed with her career and keeping up with everybody else's personal business that she actually was neglecting or intentionally overlooking all of the faults and flaws that was going on within her own marriage. This is nothing new under the sun. Some people get so consumed and wrapped up in their career, wrapped up into their money, or keeping themselves so occupied in one area that they start losing track of the fundamental issues that are occurring on the home front. And that's what's been going on with Wendy Williams. We've seen her fall from grace, and a lot of people made a mockery out of it. But when you're a woman who has encountered that type of level of pain, you'll have a little bit more empathy and sympathy, due to the fact that pain is your best teacher. It is one of the worst but yet best reality checks. And you learn so much, and it's an eye-opener. Pain has a way of making you identify with other women, because either you experienced it, or someone that you really care about, like your mother, your sister, your bestie, who experienced it. Or as a woman, you can only put yourself in that situation and imagine how it would make you feel if it were you. Now, Wendy gets a lot of heat for all of the things that she accepted and tolerated, but truth be told, Wendy Williams is not the only woman on this planet who has trusted her husband. And honestly, women get a lot of beef. Women, we get down, we get degraded for allowing our husbands to lead. But in marriage, that is the way it's supposed to be. You're supposed to allow your husband, you're supposed to give him the privilege of leading. So A lot of women who have allowed their husbands to lead their business, like Mary J. Blige with ex-husband Kendu Isaacs, Wendy Williams with ex-husband Kevin Hunter. It's a lot of women that I can't think of off the rip. Tina Turner with Ike Turner. You know, this shit been going on way back, okay? Women have sat in on the passenger side and allowed their husbands to lead and to do the driving. And honestly, you're supposed to allow your husband to lead. But the problem is you have a lot of these men who abuse the privilege of leadership to the point to where they think they could take advantage, like Martell did with Melanie. Take advantage by being abusive, taking the money. You know, a lot of women who were stars or had really good careers have lost thousands of dollars because the husband was sneaking an account and doing other things with the money inappropriately that he shouldn't have been doing. And she didn't feel as a wife she needed. Aluminum free. Oops, sorry, y'all. She didn't feel as a wife she needed to double back and check and see what was going on. And sometimes as wives we get comfortable and figure, you know, the husband, the man who we're supposed to trust and give the privilege of leadership is handling his business, and you don't find out till things go left that OMG, this dude all this time been taking our money, you know, and spending it on other women. You know, he got an outside kid he taking care of. You know, it's been some really horror stories in marriage. And let me start off by saying this, because you have a lot of women that are so anti-marriage. You know, they love for married women to fail because it makes them feel validated that, see, this is why I need to be single. This is why I'm glad I'm not married. One thing about a woman, when she's in a situation that she knows she cannot achieve, she finds a way to make herself feel better about it, and she low-key knocks down other women who are in that situation. You have single women that are thinking they're better than married women because they hear all the horror stories that married women go through, and they shun marriage. They tell women, this is why I'm not married, this is why y'all shouldn't be married, y'all with y'all fake husband and y'all fake marriages. Look, everybody's not being fake. People just don't want to be transparent, and truth be told, it's nobody's business to explain any and everything that's going on in your marriage. And truth be told, just because you're single, that don't mean you're happy. And I will also say, just because you're married, that does not mean you're happy. You have married women that are miserable, that want to knock single women down and act like they're so superior and is so much better than them. And even though they're suffering in silence, you know, you have a lot of married women that suffer in silence. And they just have learned to play the role and allow that ring on their finger to be like a billboard, you know what I mean? Like, look at me, I got to advertise my happiness. And behind closed doors, they're miserable. And you find out when it's all said and done and they can't fake the phone, or the husband does something so goddamn embarrassing that you can't even lie to protect their ass anymore. Then, you know, you got to come clean and say, you knew what, I was never happy the whole time. Mary J. Blige did that. Mary J. Blige, you would praise and worship Kendu Isaacs until he embarrassed her. Then she had to come clean. I'm drinking my tea, y'all. Now, don't get me wrong, I love me some Mary J. Blige, but honey, you put up this strong facade. You even was writing all these beautiful songs about how much in love you was and how he was there for you when nobody else was. And then when the grits hit the fan, now you want to be so transparent with women after the humiliation. Yeah, I thought I was living a fairy tale. I'm like, girl, bye. You know what I mean? I could respect a woman better if, you know what I mean, if she was like, you know what, I'm not gonna lie, I sat up here, instead of like deflecting like I thought I had a fairy tale. No, I was sitting up here bragging on him and doing all this and that because I really felt like I had to prove I was in a good place, and I really wasn't. You know what I mean? Just keep it a buck. You know what I mean? Don't wait till after the shame, the aftermath of the humiliation. Now you want to try to inspire women. I'm not buying it. I love Mary, but I just really felt like that was some straight deflection. You know what I mean? I just wasn't buying I'm a stronger woman now I learn better. I just have an issue with women who do that. You wait till you get totally humiliated and you want to talk about strong woman empowerment, how you know what I mean. I don't know. I have a hard time with that. Everybody's different, but I don't know why this stuff is popping up, y'all. If y'all hear little funny little dings and stuff, I'm getting these crazy ads. So anyway, I wanted to talk about Wendy Williams because I know I'm digressing. I'm all over the place. Wendy Williams has had a very rocky marriage. And truth be told, you know, a lot of people be like, you know, married women be faking. Like they're so happy. Look, when you're going through certain stuff, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing. How are you supposed to act? Let's keep it a buck, ladies. How are you supposed to act? You're supposed to walk around here with your head hanging down like, oh my God, I'm just so sad and down because my husband is a cheater and he's promiscuous. I mean, you know what? The sad part is you can't be that real. As much as you want to keep it real with other women, you can't do it because some women capitalize off the misery of other women. Some women, when they really know what you're going through, they use it to bash you, to drag you, especially if you're more successful than them in other areas, or the fact that you've been married and they never been married. You just can't keep it a buck like that. You know what I mean? So at the same time, I understand why you have women, you know, like Mary J. Blige and stuff, who had to put up this front, because women are very evil. They're very vindictive, and they can't wait for your shit to flop so they could be on some, oh yeah, I knew, girl, I knew you was miserable the whole time, boo. I knew you wasn't about that life, and whatever. Anywho, talk about Wendy Williams. So I had to pull up this article just to refresh my memory on how the relationship, you know, had transpired in marriage. Got all of this from Hollywood Life, y'all. Is the website. Wendy Williams and Kevin Hunter. So we want to take a look back, go down memory lane, and basically reflect back at their marriage and what led up to the divorce. So they tied the knot in 1997. That is when they got married, and she ended up filing for divorce in 2019 after decades of drama. So it got to a point in which, you know, sometimes the longer you hang in there, sometimes it pays off, where, you know, a man will realize what he's about to lose, and he'll ship up, he'll straighten up. But in most cases they don't, and it gets to the point to where you realize you cannot lie about it anymore. You realize, you know, the relationship, the marriage is just done. So what happened from the beginning to the end? After nearly 22 years of marriage, Wendy Williams bit the bullet and filed for divorce from Kevin Hunter. The relationship started out as a fairy tale romance in 95, which is when they met, followed by a wedding in November 97. So she knew him for 2 years before they actually married. By 2019, the union has soured. After months of rumors about the demise of their relationship, accusations of Kevin cheating and fathering a child with the mistress, Wendy finally did what everyone was waiting for. She finally stopped lying, putting up the front, acting like everything was hunky-dory. She took off her wedding ring and kicked Kevin to the curb. So I remember when everything first initially came out, and I remember seeing Kevin Hunter flaunting this woman around, circulating pictures with her on Instagram, and Wendy Williams was still trying to hold down the fort. Because I was a big fan of her show, and I'm still a fan of Wendy Williams. And I remember she felt at that time she needed to address it because so many people was talking about it. And I remember her saying, oh no, trust, everything is good, we're good, it's all good, God is good, we're good, it is what it is, you know. She just made it seem like she was impressed, and it was not true, and everything was going great. And I kind of remember her being sarcastic, throwing her little shade, you know, and instead of her, that would have been a time to kind of be humble. I think people probably would have respected her a lot more in the end. Look, I really don't know what's going on in my marriage, y'all, but I can say this. I did my part as a wife the best to my ability. I covered him, protected him, defended him, doing everything a wife does. If the truth ends up revealing itself, I will take this as a lesson learned and do the best I can to try to inspire other women to not fall into this entrapment like I did. That's what you should do. When you know your fairy tale life has become a nightmare, instead of putting up this front, acting like you're not pressed or not bothered, this is the time in which you can actually use your situation as a testimony to other women, and she chose not to take that route. And I think that's the reason why people came down so hard on her, because she tried to still, save face by acting like Kevin wasn't doing nothing. But anyway, so it became evident when she stopped wearing her ring. And as they moved toward officially ending the marriage, there's things that occurred decades before the sudden divorce. After 3 years of dating, they did get married, and did not know, but Wendy was married to another guy by the name of Robert Morris, who she divorced in 1995. So she met Kevin 3 years later, after her divorce with first husband Robert Morris. Okay, so this is not her first marriage. So second marriage. Just learning this tonight, like I'm telling y'all. They welcomed their only son, Kevin Hunter Jr., in 2000. Wendy has kept her son's life private to the best of her ability, but she would mention him from time to time. So he's 19 and a college student now. Nevertheless, Wendy and her husband were inseparable and soon mixed their professional and personal lives together. Kevin was not only Wendy's manager and agent, but he also served as an executive producer on the Wendy Williams show, which started in 2008. Kevin had been a huge presence on the show in terms of content and vetting the guests who appeared. So that was the role he played, I guess, as far as in doing the show. Again, Kevin was accused of being too controlling during the duration of being a part of her show. And this was pretty much put out there in 2013 from Daily News, that he was accused of being just way too damn controlling. So evidently the staff members, a few, of those on her team, they witnessed Kevin doing the most, probably being a damn tyrant. He first cheated on Wendy in 2000 following the birth of their son. She revealed in her memoir, Wendy's Got Heat. She chose to stay with him, saying in 2013 with Vlad, it has made our marriage stronger. No, I'm not back to the girl I was before him, because when you get stung like that, you never go back to who you were. Only a fool does. So again, she tries to smooth it over, by insinuating that the marriage was strong, but at the same time saying that she knows things has changed because she's not that same person anymore. And it's hard for you to still be that same woman, especially after that type of level of betrayal. But she goes on and says, I love him and he loves me, and we addressed it head on. So Kevin has been accused of cheating on her over the past decade with 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼. Kevin allegedly led a double life with the 32-year-old massage therapist, even allegedly buying her a pricey home just miles away from his and Wendy's home. If that ain't low, I don't know what is. They have been spotted out together by paparazzi multiple times. 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 recently gave birth to their daughter, which ended up being confirmed as Kevin's. Despite the rumors, Wendy consistently maintained there was no problems in the marriage. As she struggled with her diagnosis and battled with Graves' disease starting in 2017, he was her pillar of strength, especially when she took a 6-week hiatus from her talk show in 2019 to focus on her health. She revealed after coming back to the show that Kevin and her son had been supporting her as she spent time at a sober living house. She continued to wear her wedding ring on the show, told the fans that they should only ask about her marriage when the ring came off. Well, she wasn't wearing the ring during April 11, 2019 episode, just hours before it was revealed that she served Kevin with divorce papers, allegedly on the set of the show, and stated that it was over for good at that point in time. So, looking at more information here, because I want to make sure that I've covered all bases. So yeah, it was 22 years of marriage. And she finally came to realization, Wendy came to realization, that basically Kevin Hunter was a serial cheater. And he did indeed father a child with Hudson. Now, ironically, Kevin Hunter and Hudson did become engaged since October of 2021. I don't know what's taking them so long to get married, but they're still engaged. At this point, they've been divorced, and this is the time where he can actually be her husband. But for whatever reason, they have not made anything official. So we witnessed on the show, Wendy started going through. It took that divorce took a toll on her. A lot of people want to say Wendy was sickly just because, but she had medical issues, stuff going on. I'm not doubting that, but I definitely believe the betrayal played a major factor in her sickness. You cannot go through something like that publicly and it does not take a toll on your health. Doesn't matter if you're famous or broke. Your man humiliates you in that manner. You know, it definitely is, especially you've been 22 years. This is somebody you just met at the club, or you only been with him like a year or two. That's a lot of years to put into somebody and have something happen like that and it not affect you. So, during the duration of her struggling with her health, there have been several guest hosts on her show: Fat Joe, Remy Ma, Nick Cannon, and the series finale aired on June 17 with actress Sherry Shepherd. Of course, the show plummeted from there. I'm sorry, but Sherry Shepherd was not a good fit. It just was a hot ass mess. I definitely lost interest in it. And indeed a lot of people did. So nevertheless, y'all, I ain't gonna bore y'all with the details. A lot of bloggers who have pretty much touched and hit on the Wendy Williams or Kevin Hunter. I want to get down to the steak and potatoes. The whole bottom line is, unfortunately, during the divorce, Wendy Williams was still responsible for paying his alimony monthly during the duration of her show. Let's see that. Wendy Williams and Kevin Hunter divorce degree, court order. So anyway, Kevin evidently had no remorse, no sympathy for the damage she had caused his wife, ex-wife at the time. And the only thing that mattered to him was he wanted to make sure that Wendy would still be financially obligated to supporting his lifestyle. You have to realize he had been with her 22 years from the peak of her career. So regardless of all of the embarrassment and shame and disrespect he has caused her, in his mind, he still felt a sense of entitlement. And it's very ironic that a lot of these men, Mary J. Blige's ex-husband was the same way. I think Kelly Clarkson's husband, got her for a large substantial amount of money. A lot of these men, and even those who was not there from the very beginning of your career, like Kelly Clarkson's husband, they still feel that they are entitled. And I can't say that is really wrong in a sense, because I'm not a sexist person. Women do it all the time. And when women get money out of their ex-husbands, we see nothing absolutely wrong with it. But for some reason, if a man does it, this waters down his masculinity. You know, but this is why you have to be very selective about who you marry. Because what becomes yours is yours unless there's a prenup. What becomes yours is theirs, and what becomes theirs is yours. And it ain't always a good thing. If they came into your marriage with debt, it becomes your debt. They came into your marriage with 20 damn kids, they become your kids. And the beat goes on and stuff. So recently, y'all, the reason this is Ron doing the content, but he had the audacity to try to appeal to continue to get alimony payments after admitting he's broke. Now, I don't know what man would not be embarrassed or ashamed to say that they're broke because their ex-wife is no longer supporting them. Have some balls, have some masculinity. Don't let people know you that bad off without a woman taking care of you. You got plenty of men out here who done got beat out of alimony, who done got beat out of losing their home, and they still rised up, got bigger and better. It didn't stop their flow. Look at Dr. Dre. Okay, his last wife, his preference, who he was so crazy about, Nicole, had got a lot of millions off of Dr. Dre. But, you know, it didn't cause him to sink. It didn't cause him to be, you know, living back in the front yard. He's still making money. In fact, he's getting more money now than ever. And even though Nicole figured she was going to clean him out, it didn't happen. Any man that's a real man, even if he no longer is going to get the support he's used to getting from a woman, he's going to find a way to go back out there and grind and make it happen. He ain't going to let no woman think that he's so bent out of shape that he cannot survive without her. No real man survive. No real man is going to give a woman that type of leverage, unless you are a bona fide better male. Ain't no real man about to even let a woman even think for a second that he cannot have a good life without her financially contributing. Most men got too much pride and definitely ego for that. But he's so broke down and he's so scared that he know he's not going to be able to have the lifestyle he's always had with Wendy, that he doesn't mind embarrassing himself at this point. And he's putting it all out there because he wants the judge to empathize with them. Empathize with him, sympathize with him. That's the only reason why he's snitching on himself and letting it be known that he's struggling. According to the court documents, and I got this from U.S. Sun, the judge claimed Wendy's financial guardian will not have to resume cutting his alimony checks. So, you know, after Wendy's situation being in and out of hospital, she did assign a financial guardian to be over her finances, to be over her her income, you know. And the judge made it very clear that the her financial guardian, the person that's over her money, she does not have the obligation to cut Kevin Hunter with any more checks. The judge found that Kevin's request was not emergent and ordered his application to be dismissed without prejudice. The judge also denied Kevin's request for attorney fees. Kevin's fight for Wendy's payments is not completely over, however. The judge said while they don't consider his demand for alimony payments an emergency, he can still take his case to mediation. Child, that's just a nice way of saying, listen, if you don't think this is right, I mean, you can keep fighting for it, but that don't mean they're going to give in. A lot of people do that. A lot of people would deny you something and deny you certain cases and say, well, you know, you're still welcome to appeal. You're still welcome to file. They know the same result is going to be the same results. You know what I'm saying? That's just a nice way of just telling you to get the hell on. And if you're smart, you'll know that's what it is and you'll get the hell on versus, you know, going back and forth trying to fight it. You know what I mean? Being strong and wrong, you know. And that's definitely Kevin Hunter's issue. He's been strong and wrong, y'all. The parties are participating in binding arbitration, the judge said. Wendy's ex-husband initially told New Jersey court that his monthly payments promised in their divorce suddenly stopped in February 2002. So Kevin asked the court to order Wendy's guardian to make payments as contractually required. And Wendy was placed in a financial guardianship earlier this year, and that's when she had finally assigned somebody to help her monitor her funds. So evidently somebody she trusts and hopefully she can trust. But in his filing, Kevin told the court that his livelihood depends on the payments. Now, that's what I say. He's gotten so weak at this point. He does not mind embarrassing himself by saying how codependent he is on Wendy's money. So he tells the courts this, that he's basically struggling because he was dependent on the payments. And the reason the payments needed to be made because this was something they agreed to in their marital settlement agreement. He further continues, I have fallen behind on most of my bills. I currently live in a community that requires payments to the homeowners association. I'm behind on that bill. So, you know, he's living in an extravagant neighborhood. Most of the time when you got to pay Homeowners association, yes, you're not living in a little suburban house. Further continues, if the homeowners association fees are not paid, foreclosure will soon follow. He does currently share a home with his baby mama and their love child. He further says, my car insurance hasn't been paid as a result of not receiving monthly severance payments. I'm behind on credit card payments because I have no money since the severance payments were suspended. My life has been greatly affected since the plaintiff stopped making payments under our settlement agreement. On top of the myriad of pressing financial matters Kevin claimed he was facing, he also alleged he doesn't have health insurance. The father of two claimed that he needs hip surgery, which he can't afford without insurance, and as a result of non-treatment, he lives with daily pain. He is so reaching, y'all. Further goes on, the fact that I'm unable to sustain my life and pay my bills in order is extremely emergent to me. I cannot pay my bills and sustain my day-to-day living. Kevin also argued he was never given any reason by Wendy's guardian as to why the payments had ceased. Nigga, like you deserve a reason. Anyway, in pushback to Kevin's demand for payment, the former TV host's attorney filed that the star has not had income from the Wendy Williams show since October of 2021, just 1 month into her long absence. On October 15, 2021, plaintiff was informed that her contract was being suspended, that no compensation shall occur or be payable to plaintiff for the duration of plaintiff's disability and incapacity, Wendy's attorney wrote. The former talk show host's attorney went on to cite the divorce settlement agreement she and Kevin signed back in January 2020. Wendy's attorney continued that her client has not received a salary from production, and she presently has no other television show being aired and paying her any income, let alone an equivalent salary. In other words, there was no show. He was only able to keep benefiting and reeking checks as long as the show was still continuing, which it no longer wasn't due to Wendy's condition, which is a blessing, which is a curse. Let me say curse first, which was a curse and a blessing at the same time. Wendy's absence from the show began in September at the start of her fall 2021. Days later, was hospitalized for a psychiatric evaluation. Wendy was reportedly making $10 million a year, $55,000 an episode for the Wendy Williams show. As the Sun first exclusively reported, Wells Fargo froze her accounts in January 2022 over concerns that Wendy was of unsound mind and the bank suspected financial exploitation, dementia, or undue influence. Last year, Wendy spent 2 months in Malibu, California, rehab treating severe alcoholism, of course, because she was going through a severe state of depression. The host, who had previously claimed she was sober, had a number of public incidences involving alcohol before she checked into rehab. Alcohol has been a real struggle for her over the past several years. She has battled severe alcohol abuse mixed with serious health issues. She was being treated for extreme alcohol abuse. She has had numerous doctors who told her for years, if you continue to drink, you will die. She never really wanted to stop, and the people around her in New York allowed her to keep drinking. That's how it is when you have a lot of money. You have a lot of yes men around you. God bless his soul. That's what happened to Michael Jackson. People kept giving him what he want, and sometimes always getting what you want is what takes you out. Same thing that happened to Mr. Michael Jackson. But moving along. So Wendy was absent for the entirety of her final show of the Wendy Williams show as she battled a myriad of health issues, including Graves' disease, lymphedema, and substance abuse. Her longtime production company, Delmar Mercury, announced that Wendy's show was officially canceled in the summer of 2022, and that the time slot was replaced with Sherri Shepherd. Wendy previously claimed that she is launching a podcast, though it is unclear if any episodes have been taped as of yet. So, anyway, y'all, moving along. That was a lot to read, but everybody don't keep up with Wendy Williams like that, and I didn't want y'all being lost in the sauce. Getting down to the main issue at hand, Kevin Hunter still wanting financial support from his ex-wife. First of all, like I said, this really speaks volumes as to how weak he is. Now, I understand that when you are married, you in a union. Women get money all the time, just like men, and we make nothing of it. So I cannot be sexist and say that men aren't entitled to alimony. The bottom line is, if that's y'all husband, y'all got children together, y'all are. But in his instance, the fact that he committed adultery that alone, he should have not been granted anything, because there was proof, being that there was a child. And most of these states, they honor adultery, and most of the time, when if you can prove your significant other was having an affair, and in this case she could prove that because it was a child, most of the time that the cheating spouse loses their rights to anything other than, if there's children involved or something to that matter. But the way Kevin Hunter did it, the fact that he been disrespecting Wendy, and again, I know y'all don't like Wendy, y'all feel like she deserved what she got. That's besides the point. If you're going to do wrong, there's still a right way to do wrong. You feel me? And I say that to say this. He had moved this woman down the street from him. He was taking care of her. He did not, in no type of shape or form, try to protect Wendy's feelings at all with this whole situation. He did not try to protect her reputation, her brand, because the bottom line was he was a part of Wendy Williams' brand. So anything stupid or reckless he's done is automatically going to reflect on Wendy, because she's the brand. And that's just the bottom line. When you are married, especially if you are famous or your husband is famous or whatever, even on an average scale, your husband owns a business, you own a hair salon or something, the word gets around that, you know what I mean, y'all have all these marital issues, it taints your brand, it taints your success, you know what I mean. It just is not a good look. Okay, so that's the first thing. Secondly, Kevin Hunter had the audacity to take care of his mistress. Now, if he was already a hardworking man, other than being a part of Wendy's brand, let's say he had other stuff going, and I heard he's had some other projects, but the majority of the income he has had has come through Wendy, and money's been taken out the account. He doesn't have a separate account, or he's taking money out the account and then putting it in his account. That still was a major violation to the marriage. You don't take care of your mistress off your wife's money, Martell. But you have some men that are so grimy, they will do that. They will take food out they children's mouths and out their wife's bank account to take care of of a side trick. You have some men that's just that selfish, or just that whipped, that they don't mind taking from the home front. And I think as a man, if you're going to step out there, you don't take from your household to do it. Even let's say if your wife is a millionaire or a billionaire and she's not going homeless because of you doing what you do, it's still wrong, because the money that you're taking out the account, that is stealing literally from your significant other, especially when you're putting that money into somebody who's not married to you. It's still a major violation. So Kevin Hunter, really, in my opinion, he didn't deserve a dime. But who the hell am I? We all know law is man-made, and law ain't always right with how they do things. But nevertheless, he was granted to get those payments as long as the show continued, by the grace of God. Sometimes bad things have to happen, ladies, in order for you to be delivered from a chaotic situation. It took her getting sick, it took her getting down on her luck for her to no longer be held hostage to doing a show, for him to continue to keep getting the money from it. Because that, honestly, that probably was the only way she would have been able to end doing that season. And I'm sure, as much as Wendy loved doing her thing, being a gossip columnist or whatever you call it, I'm sure at the same time she lost her joy in it, because she realized that all the money she was making, even though she was doing what she loved, her ex-husband and his mistress was benefiting out of that. You know what I mean? So I'm sure a part of her, she probably didn't have that same passion. And we know that Wendy is great at pretending, because evidently that's what she was doing the whole time. So she probably was low-key miserable. And I think what happened was the humiliation, the public embarrassment of Kevin Hunter's actions is the reason why her health continues to deteriorate. Sometimes as a woman, you could put so much time and energy into your your husband and your children. And the moment one of them fail you, you start withering away. And this is why, as a woman, you have to have something to stand on other than just your husband and your children. I know some women, their whole world revolves around their husband and their children. My husband and my children and my husband, me and my husband, me and my children, me, my husband and my children. You have some women that are so infatuated with the concept of having a husband that they get lazy and they don't protect themselves, and they figure the possibility of something ever going wrong, or their husbands ever losing them, them ever losing their marriages, or their husbands ever betraying their trust and not worry about losing them, they get to this place in which they really start getting full of themselves and thinking it can never happen, like they got everything on lock. And that's so far from the truth. Ring or no ring, you have no control over what another person is capable of doing to you. So Wendy made Kevin her everything, and a lot of the times, and there's nothing wrong with loving your husband, valuing him and treasuring him, but don't worship him. Don't worship him. Worship him to the point to where you just leave everything in his hands. You don't leave nothing for yourself. You don't have your own separate account in event things don't go wrong. You got something to fall back on, or you worship him so much that you cut off your family, cut off your friends, and then when this clown, pisses on you and embarrasses you, you don't have no family or friends to turn to because you done made him your everything. You got to be very careful with putting these dudes on a pedestal. And I tell men the same thing. Don't go around here thinking you top dog because your wife is so pretty and so beautiful, because this same woman can destroy you or embarrass you. I've known some men who all cocky beside themselves thinking they the shit because they wife white, or they wife pretty, or they wife educated, whatever, thinking they got something only to find out they ain't had nothing. So that goes for anybody. Love your partner, but do not worship them. There's a difference. I love my husband. I'm not going to worship him though and praise him like he's a god and he can't disappoint me or embarrass me. You know what I'm saying? People are human beings, So what's going on with Kevin? Kevin is so used to being in control of Wendy. You got to realize he's been with her 22 years. He's ran a lot of things, and Wendy allowed it because she was so in love with him. She worshipped the ground he walked on. So Kevin ran the ship for a long time, and it took something bad to happen. And it's funny because sometimes God would allow bad things to happen to make good results in the long run, And had her health not declined, she would have still been obligated to doing that show. She would have been able to quit it because, Kevin would have gave her hell. No, you got to keep doing these shows. I'm going to renew the contract and make sure, you know what I mean? I know he's dogmatic and he's nasty. Even if Wendy wanted to leave the show, that man was dependent on that money. So God knew what it took. You feel me? Some women out here right now going through some deep shit, and you're not understanding what you're going through, but God got to allow you to go through this in order to deliver you from it. Same thing with you men. You may be going through stuff you don't understand with your wife, while you're losing your job, while your health declining. This may be part of God's plan of setting you free from a demon. Sometimes things got to get worse before it gets better. So that's the only reason why she was able to gracefully bow out of that situation. It did cost her to get used in the process. People was going to her account. She was having issues with Wells Fargo. But in the nick of time, as much as people clown Wendy and drag her, God still gave her grace. She did not die to where Kevin could have got everything. However, God fixed it when she did get that divorce. So he no longer was really entitled to nothing but that show, and only was because of that, because his name was on it. He was executive producer. Once that show ended, that killed that. So Kevin is losing his mind because the control is gone. Not only that, somebody else is over her money, so ain't like he could really bully Wendy for it. And that's the reason why he went to court to file a case against Wendy's financial guardian, because he can't bully Wendy anymore. You better do this, you better do that. Them days over with. Okay? So he tried to go after her, and the judge still said nope. And this is what people got to realize. That's why Martell is going through what we're going through. Nothing good comes out of cheating. The wicked shall never prosper. Y'all can do what y'all want to do and disrespect these marriages, you side chicks or whatever. But let me tell you something. There's a God that sits high. He honors marriage. Even if you do not honor marriage, you don't respect marriage, guess what? You're going to have your day in hell when you're going to catch hell and go through all the bullshit you don't want to go through, because God is not going to allow people to disrespect marriage, because marriage is an anointing. It's supposed to be a blessing, whether you believe in marriage or not. The bottom line is the word is never going to change. And God has always honored marriage, and y'all are going to see people who don't honor marriage. They're going to continue to self-destruct. Why you think Martell can't get ahead, even though he's putting up this front like he's accomplishing so much? Same thing with Ariana, and you women that are side chicks or willing participants. Your days, your karma is coming to collect too. You curse yourself out of a whole lot of blessings messing with somebody else's husband. But that's a whole nother conversation for another day. So Kevin is losing his mind, because when he didn't receive those checks in October, in the months that I mentioned to y'all from the article, reality started sinking in. He really realized how much of a bad shape he was in. And if he was a real man, he would have had a backup plan other than Wendy's money. Because let's face it, it was Wendy's money. She put him on that show. He didn't create that show. Okay? So, he's feeling the funk, y'all. And that's just half of the stuff. When you living in them big behind houses like that, your light bill is thousands of dollars. You ain't got no little 300 light bill like me and my husband got in our three bedroom home that's paid for. Your light bill, his light bill probably $3,000-$4,000. You get what I'm saying? He done got used to a luxurious lifestyle, and that's all because of Wendy. And what he thought was he was going to be able to have that same luxurious life with 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 Hudson. The audacity to think you can disrespect your wife at the time, which we know they're not married, but you really thought you can just move on and rebuild a life with the woman you really want from the woman you needed. Ooh, let me repeat that again, y'all. That was a good one. He thought he was going to be able to move on and live a life with the woman he wanted while benefiting off of the woman he needed. He didn't want Wendy, but he needed Wendy. That's a word, y'all. That's a good one right there. Y'all might as well drop the cash out for that one. But anyway, his ship is sinking. And because he has no other options, he wasn't man enough to make money in other ways in the event something was to go wrong. He's begging and pleading with the courts to do something, so he can pay that light bill. He can continue getting 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 those Prada bags, those Cartier watches and purple labels and whatnot. He sees the ship is sinking. And the main thing is, y'all, and this is where it may get scary for him. He probably knows that 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 has been depending on him to continue fronting this lifestyle. And honestly, truth be told, that's the only reason she started dealing with Kevin Hunter in the first place. As the saying goes, how you get them is how you lose them. He got 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓼 off of Wendy's money. And 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓼, like a lot of these side chicks, did not feel bad, had no remorse, no compassion. She don't give a damn. She got the Prada bags, living her best life. I remember when Wendy repossessed, I think it was a Lamborghini, one of those exotic cars. She had got that repossessed. He thought he bought it for himself, and then she saw 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓼 was driving it, and she got it repossessed. You know, even in her out of her mind, Wendy, God still gave her enough of common sense to where she knew what was going on, and she was able to interact. She could have completely lost her mind, got dementia, and Kevin would have had full control. But the Lord said, this is my child. I'm going to cover her. I know the world may not like her. The world is having a good time watching her suffer. But I'm still not going to let my child be harmed but so much. God be having a lot of grace on a lot of us who don't deserve it. So we don't need to be looking at Wendy Williams any kind of way, because we ain't always did right and did right either. We gave sorry Negroes chances that didn't deserve it. Okay? We all have failed or made poor choices in men at one point or another. And this was just one man she been with 22 years. This ain't like several men she allowed to do this. Women who have been married for a very long time with one man, it's harder to learn when you haven't went through it repeatedly. You know what I mean? Not justifying it, but I'm just saying. So anyway, Kevin, let me tell y'all what's really scaring Kevin. Kevin is afraid that if he does not have Wendy Williams still supporting his lifestyle, 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 is going to leave his ass, because that is how he got her. Let me listen. That's what's scaring him, ladies. Cause that woman, we gonna see, dude. We gonna see if this woman really love you like she say. We gonna see if she's willing to stand the test of time, knowing that you no longer gonna be able to buy them Prada bags, them Cartier watches with Gucci and Dolce and Gabbana. He knows what kind of woman he has, and that's probably why he ain't been so eager to marry her. But he gave her a child though, and he probably allowed that because that was his way of keeping 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 in his life. And not only that, he did say he been wanting children, but that was also to keep 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 at bay. Like she can't take her child and still leave him and file child support. He is most scared that 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 not gonna want his old ass when those checks stop coming in, because the lifestyle that he has gotten him accustomed to, he's not gonna be able to work enough jobs to front that. And he wasn't man enough to prepare himself for the time of the day when all of it will come to an end. Just like Kevin Federline, who been getting money off of Britney Spears the last, I guess, what, 10 years, and it's almost over. Their kids, I think their sons is like 16, 17. He got like a year or two left, and then he tried to come up with some last minute bull by digging up some old video when Britney Spears was going off on her sons for being ungrateful. He tried to blackball her. I said, oh, okay, buddy, you know that the checks are about to come to an all-time halt. Them checks are about to end, and you around here starting stuff, anything to continue to keep getting checks. He tried to exploit Britney, and he basically turned her boys against her, till it got to the point where Britney had to let go of her sons because they start acting like their daddy. He had poisoned them. You know, Kevin Federline been raising them boys all this time. While when she went through her meltdown, so that gave him a lot of room and advantage to manipulate the boys and turn them against her, and it worked for now. Until them boys get older and realize Kevin Federline, their daddy ain't getting them checks no more. If they want to get them checks, they're going to have to get in good with their mama and start respecting their mama, because Britney going to always have the money. Now, what the hell Kevin Federline going to do once them boys are old enough? I don't know. Because Kevin Federline, his wife, and the two kids he had from his wife been living off of Britney money for years. A lot of these guys live off of women, and they don't prepare, just like Martell did with Mel. Didn't prepare for the day when this woman gets tired of my BS and she pulls a rug from up under my foot and she takes my money. She takes away my lifestyle. They get cocky, they get comfortable. They ain't even smart enough to keep their side chick out the way so they can keep fronting their lifestyle. If you're gonna do wrong, there's a right way to do wrong. You out here in the open with the side chick. You think your wife not gonna have a problem with you spending y'all money and buying her expensive lingeries out y'all money, y'all sleeping in extravagant hotels out for your her money? I mean, how long you think you gonna keep pulling that off? But these guys are just that sure of themselves, and they feel like it's never going to end. That's what Kevin Hunter is angry about. He's been pushing the courts to enforce for Wendy's financial guardian to keep compensating for his lifestyle, because he knows he's not man enough to go out there and get a real job and find something else to do, so he doesn't have to depend on Wendy's money. He does not want to lose his appetizer. He don't want to lose his side chick baby mama, because I guarantee you, when the well runs dry, I don't think 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 is going to be there. I think the only reason 𝓜𝓠𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 is tolerating him is because of the lifestyle he can provide and the fact that he is the father of her one and only child. I can't see her being with him another 5-6 years and he ain't making the money he making. I don't see it. Unless she really loves him sincerely, she'll adjust. If it means she got to get a job to help him, I don't see it. Because what he did was, he 9 times out of 10, Kevin Hunter, like a lot of these guys who done made a living off of other women, he wasn't honest up front with 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼. He made it seem like he would always have it like that. Made her, and again, he didn't protect himself to get a job, to start a business, to do something where he could keep getting revenue. And that's the sad part. Some of these men become so complacent off depending on these women. It's sad, because when a check stops, it's like they lost. I don't think Kevin Hunter even know how to get a real job at this point. He done got too used to Wendy doing everything. Same thing with Martell. He done got used to male money. That's why he won't get a real job. He won't, he's around here trying to bum off other people. He's been trying to get with other people who do have a valid real estate license and stuff, so he ain't got to get his. A lot of these men that have become very codependent on their wives, it's a culture shock for them to have to get a real job. So what they'll do instead, the energy they should put into getting a job or starting something else with whatever little bit of money and funds they have, or downgrade, get a smaller house, move into a more affordable neighborhood or whatever, they'll just get more nasty and demanding. Martell will get nasty and demanding before he put in a job application somewhere. Kevin Hunter is going to keep pushing this issue until it just ain't working no more. He'll put all the energy into going back and forth to court before he go get a job. And if he's smart, he'll stop it, because constantly going back and forth to court, he's losing more money. He may need to save that money up so he could downgrade and put him and 𝓜𝓸𝓬𝓱𝓪'𝓼 in a regular 3-bedroom house. And any side chick that's with these men, I don't care how much money they got, realize the day they get caught or their wives get sick of them, they're not going to be able to supply you with that same lifestyle. They're not going to be able to keep fronting and paying and stunting. It's going in. And you got to realize, as a woman, do you love them enough to where you're going to stand by them when they get broke, or when their wife ends up getting everything and they got to pay that big time alimony? Because tables turn. When they with the wives, they can supply you the best of everything. But once the tables turn and the wives don't want them no more, can you handle the wives getting the best of everything like you did when you was being his mistress? Because trust and believe, the table's going to turn again. You're not going to be able to keep flossing and flexing off of his income that he's been making with his wife. It's eventually going to come to a dead end. It's going to come to a halt. It's going to crash and burn. Eventually he's going to get exposed. He's going to get exploited. She's going to find out, checking bank statements, because the longer man is messing around with his wife, he gets comfortable. He doesn't cross all his T's. He doesn't all his I's. She's going to find receipts. She's going to find bank statements. She's going to noticing if she a smart woman and keeping up with her money and stuff like Mel was, she going to notice something ain't right. Most women do. If Wendy didn't figure it out, her financial guardian did. And I guess the financial guardian could be taking advantage of her. But listen, at this point, I trust anybody other than goddamn Kevin Hunter. I would trust goddamn Oscar the Grouch being over Wendy's money before I goddamn trust Kevin Hunter. And Kevin Hunter has been so manipulative, because when Wendy Williams was down on her luck and her health was rapidly declining, because we thought we could have been lost Wendy, he was up here talking all this big stuff, health before wealth. I tried to warn her and warn her about all these snakes around her that don't have her best interest. Nigga, you the biggest snake. As a matter of fact, you are the anaconda. The rest of them snakes around Wendy Williams was grass snakes. Harmless compared to you. You the python. You bit her the hardest and you devoured her like a real python. You put all your poisonous venom. You really pierced your veins into this woman's flesh to devour her, to destroy her. You are the anaconda, Kevin Hunter. So I'm not trying to hear that. And that was his way of deflecting, making it seem like Wendy got to watch her back from everybody, and he was the head honcho that she needed to really, watch herself from. But it's okay, because God fixed it. God fixed it where he had to let this woman damn near get sick in order to get out that contract from that show. Listen, I'm telling y'all, God ain't no joke. Be careful how you treat people. Be careful how you do stuff out there. Portia Williams, Portia Gabardi, whatever the hell her new last name is with Simon. I don't care who get mad. She another one. Her karma is round the corner, because she was dirty for how she did Fallon. And I don't care who want to be Portia's friend. I said what I said, and it's gonna come to light. You got to be careful with how you treat people, and especially when you're not compassionate, you don't feel bad, you have no remorse. Like I said, it's the right way to do wrong. You don't go around flaunting your wrongdoing. You don't go around being proud of it. It says what? Pride comes before destruction. And guess what? Karma ain't taking long these days. And you got some people, no matter how much karma is kicking them in the ass, they're going to smile. Smile for the camera. And behind closed doors, when God gets tired of them faking the funk and pretending, he's going to bring it all in the surface and show y'all what that person really been going through. Because God is tired of folks around here doing all kind of wrongdoing, and they making folks believe they're not paying for what they do, because what it does is sends mixed signals out there spiritually that you can do what you want to do to people and nothing's going to happen. And God is not going to allow his people to continue being deceived. So trust and believe. He's going to start bringing people down for people to humble themselves, because a lot of people just have no remorse, no sympathy, no empathy for the pain that they inflict on other people, and they think it's right. And the sad part is you got people around here on the blogs and on the comment section defending the fuckery, defending the shenanigans, where they're happy, that's all that matters. Well, they was never friends. Wrong is wrong, sweetie. The Bible says that. And all this, don't judge, don't judge. Don't judge is just a phrase that people use for you not to call them out on their bullshit. Bottom line. But anyway, y'all, that's my whole overall intake on the Wendy Williams situation. He losing his goddamn mind because his side chick that he made accustomed, his side chick baby mama, that he made accustomed to the lifestyle, he knows that if that money ain't running the way it been running, she gonna run off and leave his ass. That's what's going on. And the truth is, guess what? His health, listen, his health is going to decline quicker than Wendy's when he realizes he ain't getting them checks no more. He gonna be so sick, y'all. He gonna be in an infirmary. He gonna be in a nursing home. He gonna be in more worse off shape than Wendy. Listen, the way tables turn. Y'all may think I don't know what I'm talking about. That nigga gonna get sick, yo. To know he ain't getting that money, he's sick now. Why y'all think he keeps pressing and pushing the issue? Why y'all think he can't take it? Listen, I bet Wendy's sleeping better at night than he is. It was cute when Wendy health was declining, health before wealth. Yeah, that's the problem. You was more worried about wealth instead of your health, cause you was living fat off of Wendy. Don't be surprised if Kevin Hunter don't start aging rapidly. We're gonna see all the gray hairs, we're gonna see all the weight gain, we're gonna see all the stress. And when that his side chick woman leave him, oh honey, he gonna be close to suicidal. You know what, it's funny, ladies, the stuff people take you through, when it's their turn to go through it, they won't even handle it as diligently as you. This is the crazy part. Everything that he has ever done to Wendy, she's still standing through it. I guarantee you, when the karma really starts biting at his ass, y'all not gonna see him being near as strong as Wendy has been. Watch what I tell you. It's always those who inflict pain on you. They can't handle it when it's done back. I'm not even gonna get to testifying up in here. Let me just go ahead and end this live, honey. I have said enough. I think I made my case very clear. So meeting is adjourned. But we're going to talk about some different topics another time. If I feel like I got to reiterate on this a little bit more, I'll do so. If there's any other questions y'all have regarding the situation that y'all would like me to address on my next content, keep me posted. Put in the comment section, and I'll do my best to try to reply back. It's late enough, y'all. I'm going to get ready to shut it down. It is your girl. It's your diva in knowledge. Lady Mocha, representing Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Before y'all leave, please hit that like button right now. Hit it like right now. Okay? I need y'all to do that for me. If you haven't, please bring your friends to my channel. Share it through their Facebook Messenger. Share it through their Instagram. Share it through their phone. Bring me some more customers, okay, to Mocha's Ladies Lounge. Bring me some more customers. I would appreciate that. So anyway, y'all be blessed until next time. It is your diva in knowledge. Talk to y'all later. Bye.